Dear creatives, welcome to Classy by Mavi. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to alter a basic trouser pattern to a culotte pant. So as you can see here, I have my basic trouser pattern. So I want to make some adjustments on the upper part so that I turn it to an high waist trouser. You know, the basic trouser comes from the waistline. Okay, so look at me here. I'm attaching another pattern paper so I can alter it to a high waist pants. Okay, so having done that, what you must do on your body is to measure from your navel to your high waist. So that measurement gives me 2 inches. So what I'm simply doing, I'm adding 2 inches to from the waistline, following the shape of the trouser waist. In case you don't know how to draw this basic trouser, I'll be dropping the link for you to watch the video on the description, and also at the end of this video you'll see the link. So you can either go and start watching, or you watch this culotte pant making process and then you later watch the basic trouser pattern. Okay, all you need is to know how to draft the basic trouser. So as you can see here, after measuring the 2 inches on all the points, I'm simply raising the trouser upwards by 2 inches. After that, you know, the high waist is slimmer than the low waist, so I'll go further to impute the high waist measurement. My low waist measurement is 30 inches, the circumference. Then the high waist is 28 inches. So 28 divided by 2, 28 divided by 4 gives me 7. So at first, I'll raise the dart leg upwards so I can get my accurate measurements from there. Can you see what I'm doing? So after taking it upwards, I'll close the dart first because I'll not be using the dart for this culotte pants. Okay, as you can see, I'm closing the dart using my masking tape to put it in place. Okay, now I have closed the dart. After that, from the dart point, I am measuring 3.5 towards each side. Can you see? I am marked 3.5 on this side, and then on this other side too, I'll be marking 3.5. Okay, so that's 3.5. Then I'll come here and also mark 3.5. 3.5 plus 3.5 gives me 7 inches. So in total, for the upper part, I'll be having 7 inches. Then I'll just blend it to the lower waistline. Can you see? So I am linking that point to the lower waistline with my ruler like this. So on this other side too, I'll be doing exactly the same thing. So my pant on the upper side is now narrower, which depicts my actual shape. Okay, so that's the first alteration we are doing. I'll be doing this exact thing on the back pant also. I'll close the dart. After closing the dart, I'll raise the waistline upwards by 2 inches, and then I go ahead with the culotte pant alteration. Okay, so here we have our both patterns complete. Here is the back. I'm also done altering the back the same way I altered the front. Having done that, it's now time for us to alter the pattern to a culotte pant. First, you need to determine the length of your culotte, okay? The total length of your culotte pant. I'll be working with a pant length of 17 inches or 16 inches. So look at me trying to determine where to mark. So I'll be marking 16 now. From the crotch depth, I'll come down by 5 inches to get my length. Okay, this basically depends on you. Nobody will determine where you want your pants to be. So from the crotch depth, I just went down by 5 inches. That's all I did. After that, I'll cut off. And this down part of this pattern will not be useful anymore in this particular style. I'll be doing the same thing also for the front pattern. Okay, I'll first of all measure the length, mark, and then I go over to the crotch line so I confirm the depth I'm marking, which is 5 inches down from my crotch depth. Okay, So I'll mark, insert a line there, and then cut it off just like I did for the back. Okay. Now you can preserve this down part you just cut out and use your masking tape to tape it back to use later, right? But for now, we are not using it. And then I'm going ahead to insert a line to extend the dart line like this. And then I cut off. As I'm cutting, I'll cut it very close to the edge, but I will not totally separate the pattern. Can you see? This is how I'll leave it. If you have excess pattern paper, you can place under and tape to stay to get your culotte pattern, okay? But for as at when this tutorial was made, I didn't have excess paper to work with, so I'll be cutting directly on the fabric. Okay, so we are done altering. We are now going over to the sewing, to the transfer to fabric process. Dear creatives, here is the fabric I'm using. Okay, a beautiful floral fabric. So it's this type of fabric that goes well mostly with culotte pants. So you don't need a thick fabric for a culotte pant, right? It is not see-through, but it is not weighty, okay? It is a lightweight fabric. So because culottes actually needs a lot of fabric, you opt for the lightweight fabric. So here, what I'm simply doing is to fold the fabric into two. And after folding it accordingly, look at what I've done. I am spreading out the slashed pattern on the fabric. Can you see? Now, the width of your culotte, how wide you want your culotte to be, will be determined by how wide you spread it out, right? Let me just check what I'm spreading out. I'll use my tape measure to test the distance between one part to the other. So I'm working with a 10 inches spread. So I'm spreading out by 10 inches. If you want it wider, you do more than 10. If you want it smaller, you do less than 10, right? So after spreading out, I'll use my pins to pin this pattern in place. So I'm done pinning and I'm here marking out my allowances, okay? On all the sides, I'm adding half an inch. On the arm, I'm adding 1 inch. You can do 1.5 just to finish up your hem line. Okay, I'm adding just 1 inch on the hem line. Just see, look at the way I am taking it. Trying to maintain the C shape like this, okay? So the waistline, half an inch. The center back, half an inch. Okay, and the side back also half an inch. So I haven't done that. I'm here cutting out according to the chalk markings. So here I am done cutting out the front pattern. Note that the same space I have given here is the same space I'll be giving on the second pattern, that is the back pattern. So I'll go over and also do the same thing for the back pattern before we start sewing. And here, as you can see, I've done the same thing for both patterns. Both back and front patterns are complete. So we'll go over to the sewing machine and start the sewing process, okay? So ensure that this spacing is always the same. So dear creatives, it's now time for us to sew. Just follow suit as we sew this pattern together. So the first thing we are doing, we are joining on the center, the back pattern on the center. And here we are done joining the back pattern on the center. Can you see how beautiful it turns out? So we'll now keep it aside and join the front the same way. We are also done joining the back on the front on the center. Okay, so we have this. It's now time for us to join back and front together by the sides. So we are now moving on to join on the crotch area, the inseam. Can you see? So we are done joining by the side, so it's the inseam that we want to join now. We'll be starting from the crotch. We'll sew to one side first and then to the other side. And before we sew, we must ensure that we align the two seam lines accurately, back and front seam lines accurately. Can you see? So that has also been done. So we are sewing to one side first, as I've already mentioned. Before we now go ahead, flip over and sew to the other side. We are also done. So our culotte pant is almost ready. Let's flip it over to see what we have got so far. Can you see? So here is our culotte pants, and note that by the time we're stitching on the sides, for the left area we left about 7 inches before we stitched down, so that we can fix our zipper on that side. Can you see? So this part, okay. Now before we fix the zipper, we'll go ahead and attach our band. For the band, I want to show you how to create a curved band, okay, just like that on the culotte pants. So after sewing, I just hold my waistline together. Okay, let me make it as wide as I want. I folded this fabric into two, okay. First, after folding it into two, I'm bringing the waistline of my already sewn culotte pants. You know, the zipper is going to the left side of the culotte pants, so I place it accordingly. Can you see how I'm placing it? See how I'm placing it? So the right side on one side, and the right side is on the folded edge of the fabric, and the left side is on the open end of the fabric. Can you see? So the right side of the culotte pant is on the folded edge and the other side is on the open end. So I haven't dropped it this way. I'm marking out. I'm marking out the shape, the curved shape. Can you see? The shape of my waistline. So you should use a chalk to do this, right? So let me just get my chalk and continue. Okay, so I've gotten my chalk. I'm marking out the curved band. Okay. So I've marked it out accordingly. Now I'll remove the curved shape and then measure, impute my measurements 2 inches. I'm marking 2 inches because I want my band to be about 1 inch. Okay, so I'm marking 2 inches. I'll use half an inch to stitch the upper part and half an inch to attach it to the culotte pants. In total, I'll be using 1 inch for the stitching, and then I'll be having a band of 1 inch. Okay, so depending on the size of the band you want, you can do your calculations and then cut out your own. Can you see? So this is the shape we are looking at. This is the shape of the band we are looking at. So after doing this, I'll simply cut it out. Here we have our band. Can you see? So I'll be cutting out 2 of these so I can finish up the band nicely. I'm here placing it again. But remember, the right side is on fold, so I'm also still aligning it to the folded edge of the fabric, and then I'll cut out the exact shape. When you are doing yours, please pin it down so you will become very accurate. Now we have our band complete. So what you do, you place it this way and go ahead and sew them together on the upper side. Okay, ensure that you place them equally. Then you sew here like this. I'll go over to the machine and sew now. And here I'm done sewing. Can you see? I'm done sewing. Then I flipped it over to iron. After sewing, I pressed on the seam line. Okay, and then I flipped it over like this and then pressed down nicely. That's the reason why you are seeing the band so soft like this. This is the band now that I'll be attaching to my culotte pants. Here we have our culotte pants, the waistline. So from this side, the left side, I'll start my joining. It is very easy. You just to attach it, sew through. Then by the time you are done sewing, you serge the raw edges. So I'll simply go over to my machine and attach it nicely. After attaching the band, I'll show you the results. But first of all, I want to show you how it is looking on one of my models without the band. Okay, then after that, I later attach the band. Take a look at her here. Here she's wearing it without the band. Then after I have fixed the band, another model modeled it also. Check it out. At this point, I have finished the hem also by simply folding and top stitching. I have attached the band and also fixed my zipper. So take a look at how it is on the model. Beautiful, right? Try yours and let me know.